Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. Before we begin, I'd like to start with a land acknowledgement. My name is Abidar Kamgari. I am the Programming Director at Hamilton Artists Inc. I'm also a first-generation immigrant and a settler to this land. Present-day Hamilton is located on the traditional territories of the Haudenosaunee, the Anishinaabe, and including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. It is covered by Treaty 3, the Between the Lakes Purchase of 1792. This land is directly adjacent to Haldimand Treaty Territory, which we know today as the Six Nations Reserve. After the American Revolution, many Haudenosaunee who were allied with the British emigrated here from their lands south of Lake Ontario. The Haldimand Proclamation of 1784 promised the Haudenosaunee 6 miles of land on each side of the Grand River from its mouth to its source. Today, the Six Nations of the Grand River, which include the Mohawk, Seneca, Oneida, Cayuga, Onondaga, and the Tuscarora Nations, have access to only 5% of what was originally promised to them. Present-day Hamilton is also covered by the Dish with One Spoon Covenant. And this covenant is an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and the Anishinaabe to peacefully share the resources in and around the Great Lakes for many generations to come. The dish represents the land, and the spoon represents the importance of only taking what we need so that there's enough left for everyone. We are grateful to be living and working on this land. As an artist-run center, Hamilton Artists Inc. has a commitment to not only recognize the ongoing and violent impacts of colonialism in our communities, but to also recognize how our organization also perpetuates these harmful systems. We're learning to be more aware of the roles that we play so that we can effectively take on the role of dismantling these harmful systems and to effectively work against the structures that colonialism and imperialism have imposed on things such as what we value as art, in how we connect to each other, and in how we take care of our communities. This is an imperfect process, and we have made many mistakes along the way, but it's also very important work and something that Hamilton Artists Inc. is committed to in the long term through our policies and our strategic plan. We've been working with imagineNATIVE since 2016 to bring their films to audiences in Hamilton, and we're very, very excited to be working with them again this year, despite the fact that we're working in a slightly different format. Over the last few days, we've been screening imagineNATIVE's program of short films called The Future. It includes 7 incredible short films from filmmakers across Turtle Island. And tonight we're culminating the program with an artist talk with filmmaker Rebecca Thomassie, who made the short film called Names for Snow. So before I tell you more about Rebecca, I'd like to introduce Tanisha Richards, who is the volunteer coordinator, outreach and tour administrator at imagineNATIVE. And Tanisha is going to tell us a little bit more about their festival and all of the amazing work that they do over at imagineNATIVE.
Hello, and thank you for having me, Abidar. Thank you for the introduction. I'd like to introduce myself a little further. My name is Tanisha Richards. My spirit name is Dancing Butterfly. My Indigenous community is from Bear River First Nations in Nova Scotia. I am an imagineNATIVE volunteer coordinator / outreach worker, and also the temporary tour administrator. We like to start off with a land acknowledgement. On behalf of imagineNATIVE, we are an Indigenous-run organization located on the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Huron-Wendat nations. We acknowledge the Dish with One Spoon Covenant, a treaty whose spirit is one based in collective stewardship and sharing of land and resources, and one which extends to all nations living in present-day Toronto. So I'll give a background about imagineNATIVE. imagineNATIVE is the world's largest presenter of Indigenous screen content. Our organization is recognized locally, nationally, internationally for excellence and innovation in programming and as the global center for Indigenous media and arts. imagineNATIVE presents new and innovative film, video, audio, and digital media works. Programming includes annual retrospectives, curated programs, community screenings, and presentations on groundbreaking and legacy works to a wide audience. This year, our festival will be taking place on October 20th to the 25th, 2020. Please follow us on social media and check in with our website at imagineNATIVE.org for more information. Extend our thank yous to the Hamilton Artists Inc. for inviting imagineNATIVE to showcase this program, and thank you to the coordinators who have worked to make this happen. Thank you to you, the audience, for attending the Hamilton imagineNATIVE Summer Screening Series, featuring 6 Names for Snow. This screening is rated PG, so it is safe to watch amongst a wide range of audiences. 6 Names for Snow is a short that is directed by Rebecca Thomassie, who is an Inuk of Kungrisuk in Nunavut. She participated in Wapakoni workshops to document some traditional knowledge of the different ways to name the snow and teach them to her daughter to ensure the sustainability of her culture.
Thank you so much, Tanisha. As our viewers can probably tell by now, our video is pre-recorded. This is because Rebecca lives in Nunavut and doesn't always have access to high-speed internet. So we had to be a bit creative, but thanks to the power of technology, we're still able to have her tell us about her work. Tanisha has asked Rebecca a number of questions about her film, Names for Snow, and Rebecca has recorded her answers for us on video so we can all watch them together here. If you have any questions for either Rebecca or for Tanisha or for me, you can put them in the comments section and we'll do our best to answer them as you're listening.
I live in Toronto and the snow is a totally different significance to me where I live, and it's like almost like I take it for granted, but this is amazing, like how important and how pertinent it is to like your life in Nunavut. So it's amazing to see. It's fascinating to me. So I'd like to ask you some questions, Rebecca. To start, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Rebecca Thomassie. I'm from Inuktitut, and I made the short film called Names for Snow.
Who and what inspired you to get involved in filmmaking?
When Wapakoni arrived to this town, Olivia was a local coordinator, so I heard it from her.
What inspired you to make this film?
I never really thought about making my short film, and it was just until Wapakoni came with the opportunity that it gave us, so I participated.
Have you had any mentors?
The Wapakoni team had mentors. I had 3 of them.
What tips would you give to emerging filmmakers who are transitioning into directing their first film?
Use your culture, your language, your people, elder, youth, children, animals, your land. Use your land.
Did you face any challenges that you had to overcome while creating this film? If so, can you tell us a little bit about your experience?
The Wapakoni team made it easy for me because we did a teamwork and with their equipment. The only thing that was challenging was translating my own language into English, into the subtitles.
What is your view on Indigenous people, culture, and language reflected in films?
What I want to see in films, the reality about Indigenous, true story of what we're going through.
Can we expect any more work from you in the near future? Crossing fingers.
I would if I get another opportunity with Wapakoni because I have no equipment. I was thinking of making part 2 of Names for Snow or about fishing. ice fishing, rod fishing.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us and your audience today?
Thank you for watching. Nakupmi.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing your beautiful film with us and telling us more about it. Thank you, Tanisha, for all of the work in making this Artist Talk possible, and thank you to imagineNATIVE for partnering with us and making this incredible program available to our listeners and audiences. Be sure to follow imagineNATIVE on their social media to stay up to date with all the amazing things that they do, including their festival that's coming up in October. Before we go, I'd like to acknowledge our funders, the Hamilton Community Foundation, Inside Foundation for the Arts, the Canada Council for the Arts, the Ontario Arts Council, and the City of Hamilton. I want to thank you for tuning in, and you can learn more about our work and join our other programs by following us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you can also visit our website, theink.ca, to learn more about all the things that we do. Thank you so much, and see you soon.